Hi, this is Srinivas, Tamada, founder of 9 Info. Uh, this is the second part of the Angular multi-tenant project. So let's continue work on the designs for the project, uh, like how we're going to create the menus for the different tenants and the component structure and the services. Uh, if you watch my previous video, you'll understand more. I mean the first part. So let's start working on that. So we stopped here. Now, if you look at my this article, like Angular routing stuff, you'll understand more about routing, how we're going to create it. And here is the output right now. I just little bit modified the HTML. I removed the logo, everything, and I just kept the title and the routing part. If you look at this article, you'll understand more about the routing, but I'm just going to cover a little bit of that. So before that, we need to achieve this way, this kind of menus. If you look at that, the women component got loaded and men's component got loaded. And if you go to the UK, so it is like a different, it says shoes and menu and the different color. So that's what we're going to achieve for this, how we're going to do that. So if you look at this article, I just specified a design stuff, how you're going to add a boomer. So boomer.io is a very popular the interface, like framework. It's kind of a SAS and CSS framework. You can use it. So there is this pretty simple command. You can npm install boomer. I'm just opening the new tab. I'm trying to install it. Yep, the boomer has been installed. Let me open the package.json and you will see the package has been updated. And now there is a small instructions to import the boomer. So let's we need to update the main SAS file. And so here is the main styles, and so here we need to import. So this will this all this tenants is going to use this. If you see the angular.json structure, you will understand. I covered this in the previous part. So let me copy this, but I think we need to adjust that because it's in a different level. So now I need to adjust the node modules. So right now it is in node modules. Now I imported this as. Now the main SAS has been imported. Uh, let's go to the US. Right now I'm going to explain it for the US. Yep. Let's see the outputs a little bit change the style, but and if you come down here, there is a small structure. You can copy this from Boom as well, but for the footer, you need this way to copy paste it. So I'm going to keep the footer here, and then if you see the now part from here, so yeah, so this is a basic structure. Let me copy this everything and like I'm going to paste it here. This is an hour. So this comes under the content block. So instead of the p tag, I'm putting this, and this h1 tag, I'm going to keep it on top of the root level. Yeah, let me structurize this. Yeah, this is the now part. Basically, it's a header, and this is a body and the footer. So let's see the output. See, if you look at that, some output came with sign up and login, but we're going to change it. So based on this, we're going to design our components. And based on this, we are going to design the component, and some components we are going to maintain it in the shared level, some of them inside the US, UK, and based on the tenant level designs. So if you look at that now, footer is a common one. So I'm going to keep the footer inside the shared components, and the navbar is maybe the menu is going to change, but for example, this is the logo. Let me change right now. The logo is strong and give so it's a multi-tenant project now. So, and I'm going to give a little bit of border like this, all the stuff we're going to take care. But this part you can maintain it commonly, and this is a menu for every like tenant is going to change because every tenant has a different category of products. So yeah, let's design the components and how what are the commands we're going to use it. Right now I'm going to only design it for US. You'll understand for other things. And if you look at my Git repo, and I just specified all the commands here, how we're going to build it and unit test and end to end. And the same way I specified here, how you're going to create the ng generate commands to create particular project level and shade level. So let me first create something on the shade level. Need to go to that level and to create, but all other things we have easy commands. Let's go to the cd and shade. Yep, now these are the shade level folder. If you want, you can change the shade to common as well. Like now ng generate, I need to create a components shared components module, because inside the this module is going to update like whenever you're going to create new components. Let me generate a module called shared components, and see if you look at that, there's a small component has been module has been generated. So now let me shrink it up, and now I need, based on if you look at the design, we are going to, footer is a common one and the logo is a common one. So right now I'm going to create both of them in the shade level. So ng generate component and shade components. I'm just going to create a logo. And if you look at that, the logo component has been created. And now I'm going to create footer. And if you look at the module, this has been updated with the new components. And now I'm going to export these to all the tenants, everything. So you can directly import the shade component module and you can use it wherever you want. So let's go to the app module, and there is a importers, like you can give like simply like shade component module. And if you look at this part, like it is too complicated to, like, you're going to work with different levels. So this may be a bit complicated to, it is keep growing. So instead of that, you can directly go to the TS config, and you can write it this way, like paths, and you can just give shade and where is the exactly shade level. um, then wherever you import the shade one, try to give at the rate shade, so that way you can easily, like, easy way to import the shade ones. um, yeah, I would suggest this way. And now I'm going to create, we have a shared services folder here. I'm going to create some services too, like basically like HTTP service and storage service is common for all the tenants. You can use it. Basically storage service, like it's maintaining all the session, like you can give as to create a service. So I'm going to go services and then give storage. And if you look at that, the storage service has been generated, and the same way I'm going to create another one called auth service. So this has all the API connection stuff, like HTTP client stuff. So you don't need to import this because it's root level, so you can directly import, or else like the same way how we did it for the app module, you can directly shade slash services and you can directly import the service wherever you want. The reason behind creating a shared component instead of components, because I don't want to get conflict with the local components, because I'm going to create another component folder here, components folder here. So I don't want the same name, so that's why I gave shared components here. But services, no need to care, but here the module is placing the crucial role. So I don't want the same names, and because the same component will be everywhere. Yeah, so here I'm going to create on the components. This is like, we separated the logo, but we need to maintain the menu and all inside this kind of, and based on the tenant level, I'm going to maintain it. And then one more I'm going to create like here, services too. The same. This is like repeated for all the other US and India. So anyway, I'll copy paste it later. So now close everything. Now comes to the how we're going to create a components and services inside these like this level. So let's cd dot dot and cd dot dot, and I'm going to copy these folders everywhere so that I can create it for everyone at the same time. So yeah, so this is a common structure. Yeah, if you look at the documentation, if you want to create a component, like you can just specify the extra attribute called project and US and wherever you want. So now I'm going to do the same. First, I'm going to create a modules for everyone. Let me clear it off and open this. Ng generate. This is a module, and the components basically for this components I'm going to create a module, and this is like project US. Make sure give the caps because the same way we specified in the angular.json. If you look at that, component module has been generated. The same way I'm going to create it for UK. For the US, I'm going to maintain two components, let's say this is now component, and under the component I'm going to create a men because men's category, and the other one is women. So these two things I'm going to link up with the menus. If you look at that, men and women got like the components has been created here. And now we've come to the UK. I'm not going to sell men and women products, like for example kids, and something else like shoes for the UK. And for India, maybe no one is going to sell like this, but I'm just giving for a demo for the mobile. I mean the mobiles. Yeah, that's it. Like if you see this way, you can easily create components. So the same way for services too. If this has any specific ones, yeah. If you look at this tenants, like here is a mobiles has been created for India, and the UK, the kids and shoes got created, and the US, women and men got created. If you look at the component module has been like updated, so just copy and paste and to export for everyone, and now go to the app module and import the same components module. So make sure import the right one. This is like so because we are in US, you have to import the US one, so don't confuse. That's the only mistake we do, but we have a one small setting in the Visual Code to ignore these two folders while searching. So you can only target US, so that way you can ignore this stuff. So when you work with the multiple teams, the specifically like every team is working on different tenants. So that time it'll be like one day I'm going to write a I'm going to write an article and publish a video about visual code settings more. So right now we don't have much time to discuss about that. So yeah, two models has been created. Let me create it for US. Now come to the HTML part. Now this footer, I'm just everything connected here, and now moving this HTML to the particular level. So now I'm going to the shade one, and now going to the footer and Command A, and I pasted it. And I think I messed up with CSS, but I think you can change it to the Sass, and maybe I need to give extra attribute when you create the components with the Sass attribute. I missed it, but you can change it later, this one. Yeah, and so this is the HTML. So this will specify the HTML tag. So that tag, instead of that, I'm going to use app footer, and this is the logo. So I'm going to copy this, and this comes under the menu. Let me keep it here. I don't want to create another one. Let's keep it here. And what else? Like, yeah, pretty much good. If you want, you can create another component inside the menus component, and you can move this. Yeah, it's good. Let's see the output, and let's go and modify something to understand footer, like copyright text to understand. And this is a logo, and let me add, I'm changing to rename to, and this comes under again Sass. And now I'm going to add some strong command. I'm going to give color red for the logo. Let's see the output. See, it's got logo and copyright text got changed. And if you look at the logo thing, it's okay. We don't care. This is not the part of that. And now, if you look at the nav, this is a nav. So the common styles, if you want to do something, you can go to this and you can add nav, like border bottom, solid 1px. I'm just going to give some dark color to see. Now the border came up, and there is another one, like it's content. Let me give some minimum content, minimum height for the content, like this is ID, for example. I think it's a class, so I'm giving the content, or like you can just specify the, instead of messing up things, like I can give the main block. So I'm going to, instead of that, I'm going to use main, and minimum height 400 or 500 px. Now comes to the little bit of routing part. This is pretty simple, and it's called path. You can give path, and for the men category, just give the path name as men. And what is the component you're going to point out is men component, and you can just import that from the men component. Yeah, the same way I'm going to create for women. Routes has been created. Now come to the HTML. I'm going to give this as a man, and this is a man. And now there is a small default one is called router link, and then specify it like man. The same thing for woman here, like. And the important thing is, like, you have to use the use hash true, because that way you'll not get any routing level issues. I recommend to use hash. And when you work with lazy loading stuff also, this will help a lot. it basically adds an extra hash and indexing properly. So if you look at this menu and the man, woman, everything works properly. Let me copy paste this quickly and yeah, now I quickly changed the India one and the UK one with different categories and the same footer and the same logo, and just the menu is changing. And let me quickly switch to the UK and show you how the UK works. Yeah, now if you look at that, it's UK, and it has kids and the shoes. And now if you want to maintain a different color for the background, like let's go to the UK one, and you can directly add whatever you want, because you want to add something for the now background. So directly you can use like now bar, and this is a class, so I can directly add now bar and background color. Say like some alpha or anything else. We look at that, the UK, and so you can give the different color. And if you adjust the logo color here directly, if you drop off this, it's going to affect everyone. If you want, you can change the style to the strong and give font size 24px, so this automatically takes, yep, the big title. And if you go to the India, so you go to the India level, um, and change it, like to directly apply to this SAS for these components, so that way you can control it in a different way. If you want to maintain a different footers, and you can the same way you can, like keep the components into the tenant level. So yep, so this is how I created this. And let me show you quickly the India one. Like instead of that, I can give India. If the India has been started, like, so this is how the India will be. And if you want, you can give the different color to the India, and this has only mobiles. So if you host this comes in this way. And basically I hosted with the Firebase, and based on the continent it will come. So for the US project I gave use hash true, but rest of things I didn't give, so that's why you will see that hash. Yeah, maybe I'll modify that and I'll comment it, like, so you can maintain different designs for different continents. And just see, and the last way you'll see the output in the Europe VPN. And if you open with the Europe VPN, it's called UK, and rest of the world it will be the India. And this is the way you can design the multi-tenant project. And maybe it will be a bit confusing, but if you have any better solution, comment on the videos. Yeah, thanks a lot for the watching the video.